And good morning to you. It is Friday, the end of the week as we come to it. Not as cold as we expected last night. We're sitting at 31 right now with a wind chill of 21. Now, that's still cold, but a little bit above that 25 to 26. Even at one point, it was predicted that it would be 23 last night. So not quite as bad as we expected, but again, still cold. As we look at NAS Meridian, 29 degrees this morning, and we'll look at the temperatures all around the area to let you know exactly what we've got this morning. An active day around the Meridian area yesterday as we got reports of a shooting on 3rd Avenue. I don't know if you saw that or not. We posted it as soon as we found out about it. A gentleman rode by. It was a drive-by shooting with a shotgun, sawed-off shotgun, and fired out the window, hit another man in the legs. Later on that afternoon, he was arrested in Clark County, right across the Clark County line with the Choctaw County Sheriff's Department. Todd Kemp did that. He has now been transferred to Kemper County Jail, if you hadn't seen that yet. I'll see if I can pull that up here in just a second. But pretty serious charge there, shooting at someone. Very serious. So from what I understand, and again, it's all understanding of it was over scrap metal to some degree. Here's a picture of that. We've got that posted there. Jeffrey Jones. Again, that happened yesterday afternoon. A few other things happening in the community this morning. Meridian High School will have virtual learning for the high school today due to the heat not working. I want the kids cold early in the morning, so it'll be virtual today. And sad news comes our way out of Neshoba County yesterday, when we found out a 15-year-old had lost his life. It was some teenagers looking at a shotgun, and somehow or another the gun went off accidentally, and the 15-year-old was pronounced dead. We certainly hate that. Condolences to the family on all sides of that. How horrifying that would be. We do pass along our condolences on that. Just something you can't even put into words, but we do pass along a lot of condolences. The Meridian Police Department is looking for your help. We'll show this again at 8 o'clock, but here's some folks that broke into a Dollar General and thought they could just, make themselves at home. Here's one of the pictures there. You know this gentleman? How about this guy? They were traveling together and just went in and made themselves at home and took what they wanted. MPD would like to have a conversation with them. Hopefully they'll be caught and brought to justice for doing that. That's why your prices go up on everything. People taking everything. Can't stay in business with people doing you that way. We're up to Neshoba County. Do you remember the gentleman that was accidentally killed by gunfire a few weeks back, Mr. Warren? They're up to 12 arrests in this, as that was gang-related. 12 people have been arrested responsible for that shootout where he was shot by a stray bullet. Right here in our own little community. How tragic it is. He was liked by all the community. So they keep going with this, and there may be more arrests. But 12 people so far. That sure is a lot, isn't it? That's a quick look at some of the headlines locally there as we look across. I saw this from Mobile, Alabama. It was probably not something that you see every day, but a Mobile deputy was going down the road, and a guy was pulling a set of bleachers hooked to the back of his car. He'd borrowed them from a local football field. He was arrested. They took care of that pretty quick like. Let's see here. Coming up at Mississippi State, they're going to be doing a free drive-through COVID for all students and employees on January 13th, 14th, and 17th through 19th. So if your kids go to Mississippi State, you can let them know that they can be tested free with that. That's one of the things that are going on up around Starkville. So maybe that'll be of a little help. Because if you go somewhere, I want to say I paid $75 that time to be tested when I got ill and thought I had it, and turned out I didn't, or at least they said I didn't. I'm not so sure that I didn't at the time. That was a few months ago. It's so hard to tell. Anything that you get now, you're afraid that it could be COVID. It could be a common cold. It may be COVID. Who knows? But they'll be testing there. I know that kits are a little bit harder to get, and I even read that they're going to start going up on these, that you can buy the N-test that you can buy in convenience stores like Target and Walmart and Kmart and places like that. Kmart may not even be open anymore, but they're going up on these. The manufacturer is, because the government's going to be buying them, and they're not even going to be available to the public through the government, I think, until 23 or 24. It's a long way off. But the tests are hard to come by, are getting harder as we speak. That's a look at some news headlines from around the area as we glance at those this morning as we begin this Friday. January the 7th, don't forget, tomorrow would have been Elvis Presley's birthday. A big day throughout the Southland as Elvis would have had his birthday. Been in his 80s, if I remember. I can't remember what year Elvis was born, but he would have been in his 80s. So that's a quick look at that. Now let's go over and look at radar right now and some temperatures and let you know what it is where you are as we pull up radar. Here we go. As we look at this, again, Key Field clocking in at 31. As we come over across that Bama state line in Demopolis, we're looking at 31 also. Tuscaloosa showing 30. As we go up to NAS Meridian, 29 degrees. Stark Vegas is a little bit colder. They got the temperature that we thought we would. 25 degrees there, and as well at Columbus Air Force Base, 25. Now, the further you go up into the Mississippi Delta here, we're looking at 19, 21. Tupelo has 22 degrees. There at the state line, it's 19 degrees as we look right there at Corinth. 19, that's chilly. Over in Memphis, it's 21 this morning as we come back down and we look at Greenwood, 26. Let's go over to Jackson, clocking in at 32. Vicksburg also 32. And the further south we go, the warmer it is. On the coast, it's 37. We've got 34 in Hattiesburg this morning. Again, you remember we were projected at one time to be 23, and then it moved to 25 and 26. But right now, 31 with a wind chill of 21. It's cold. Make sure you've got a big, thick, nice jacket at 21, and we do have some breeze blowing outside. We want to keep warm and not get sick. That's the main thing. It's a disaster north of here. As we watch the snow, as you see all these blue dots on my radar here, this is storm reports of all the snow that has gone through. I'll get a video here in just a little bit from Debbie as daylight breaks loose across the Nashville area. She's up taking care of her mother right now. Unreal of the wrecks, the people that are stranded that cannot get home on I-65, several interstates. I've seen this to where 18-wheelers would be sitting on the highway, and as the road freezes, the trucks just slide off and hit cars beside them and take everybody into the ditch. It is a mess as this storm moves across on up to the northeast here. Here it is right here as it's made its way up into the northeast here, right up through there. I'm going to say some areas got 8 inches or better. I know the last count I saw in Nashville was around 7. Areas of Kentucky may have gotten even more than that. It was a ferocious storm, no other way to put it, as we look at what happened there. So if you've got family members that were coming back that are stopped at a truck stop or having to stay with somebody in a motel, it may be another day. I don't think the temperature is going to rise above 25 in the Nashville area today. Let's just go up and take a look here for what we've got here. Nashville, Tennessee, the 7-day forecast, 27. So that's not going to rise much at all. That's not going to thaw at all. As you go down to, let's see here, Murfreesboro. Let's see what they've got here today. As we look at this, their high today, 27 also. As you come across all of these areas trying to get back toward Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee. Let's look at somewhere in Kentucky. Paducah. Let's see right there, 24. So none of this snow is going to melt until these temperatures start rising and clearing the roads. It just isn't going to happen just yet. So we keep everybody that's kind of stranded somewhere trying to get back home in our thoughts for the next few days. We were very, very fortunate here across Louisiana and Mississippi. Only that little bit right there at the state line in either Alabama from Huntsville north and Corinth above Tupelo got anything in the state of Mississippi. We were blessed not to be crippled by this. And as you well know, there's probably tons of power outages for all of these people across these states. And then you've got the crews trying to get in to get the power back on. Extremely cold, and you factor in the elderly and the sick people. We feel for them. Again, we like a little inch or two to have fun with, but we don't need it for that many days. That was a big storm, 2022 kicking off big time across north of us there. All right, let's start and get into our forecast this morning and just find out what's going to be happening. Let's see. Let's say some good mornings. I see some folks up today. Beth Vick, how are you? Linda Culpepper, Steve and Wanda McKinnon joins us. Charlotte Gray is watching. Thank you. Deborah Chance watching from Boston, Massachusetts. I don't think I've ever been to Boston before. It's a lot of history there. I hope you enjoy yourself. That's a good ways from Mississippi. Jeremy Barner Castle, good morning. Got my heater going in the deer stand this morning. I don't blame you one bit. You're going to need that. Good morning to Bree Packer. Also, Becky Moffitt. How are you doing? Glad to see y'all up and stirring today. Joy Robinson is up. Sylvia Stewart. Tim Wheat. Thank y'all for being here and part of this. All right, let's turn to this and get deeper and find out what the forecast holds for us for the next 7 days and, what today brings. All that good stuff.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back each day and look at our record highs and record lows, it was 1989. Boy, that's been a year or two, hasn't it? 79 degrees was the high set on that date back in 2014, which really isn't that long ago, but I guess it really is when you go to putting it to a calculator, isn't it? 10 degrees set in 2014. Wow, that doesn't seem that long ago. 10 degrees in 2014. It almost seems like you say that was yesterday, but it wasn't. As we move forward to take a look at what's happening today, partly sunny skies will come across this, but we're not going to be extremely warm. If you work outside, make sure that you've got your gloves, you've got your ears covered up. 47 is going to be our high. I don't want you any sicker. Now, the further north we go, Philadelphia, as you get to Louisville, all those areas along there, about 44 degrees, even over to Macon, Mississippi there on Highway 14, all those areas cold. Mississippi State area is going to be about 40, 41 around Columbus. As we go south, Hattiesburg will top us out, 51 for a high. Vicksburg will see 48. The capital city will see 47 today. But it is sunny, but expect it to be burrish. We'll put it that way. As we move across into Alabama, Demopolis will see 45. We'll see about 44 there in Livingston, Alabama, as the sunshine breaks loose across there. The further north you go, the cooler it will be. Gadsden 41, Hamilton 37, all the way over to Auburn country, 49 degrees, right at that 50-degree mark there. What we'll have there. As we move across, and this is Alabama, this is what they put out. I'm not sure that the temperatures, it didn't. Demopolis is above 25 this morning, Tuscaloosa. This was predicted. They still had this up just a little bit ago, but wind chills, as you'll look at that, still predicted to be 6 degrees up near Hamilton in those areas there, 9 degrees, Anniston. Wind chills. It's a lot of wind chills out there and just very cold. Brr, as it says. Alabama, y'all warm up. As we look at what will happen over the next 6 to 10 day outlook, we're near normal in Mississippi at this point. But behind this, we do see that there's another warm wave headed our way. Below average as you go up toward Washington, D.C., these areas where all of this area was swiped by the snow as it went through. But we've got this warming trend there to thaw everything out. America will be back on the road again. And speaking of that, and I'll just throw this note in there, we'll talk about this morning at 8 o'clock. The people that were stuck in Virginia, did you see that where the truck driver was there and he had a 18-wheeler load of bread, his entire truck, and he just undone the back, went down through there for a 2-mile stretch and gave everybody a loaf of bread that was stranded there for a couple days so they have something to eat? I give him the data boy and good Samaritan of the week. That was nice of him. As we go back and look at that forecast, 7 days, what do we got today? 46 to 47 for our high today. Now tonight, down to 30. That's still below freezing. Make sure your pets are warm. My dog Sophie went outside and thought that about 2.5 minutes was enough for her to go do her business, and she was ready to come back and hang out in the house with me. It was a real quick trip. As we move into Saturday, things will warm up. 61, a low of only 50 for Saturday night. We'll go into Sunday and be ready for this. We've got rain on the way, but look at that temperature, 70 degrees nearby. We'll get down to 39 that night, but it's going to be wet, slushy. It'll happen. It'll be muddy. As we roll back to work on Monday, down to 51, a low of 29 below freezing there. And the same goes for Tuesday night, 31, but a high of 52. And we keep it above average there, about 60 degrees toward the end of the week is what we've got there. Big thank you to Rock House being a sponsor with us. Now let's go ahead and look further into January. Let's go all the way to the 21st. As we look at the 13th, it's 60 degrees, and we're going to hover somewhere in the mid-50s to 60 degrees all the way through January the 20th. Not bad weather. Some of the nights we'll get into the 30s, but for the most part, we'll have lows 45 to 48 degrees for the next 2 weeks is what we're looking at. Again, every bit of that is subject to change. Why? It's in the south. It changes every few minutes. We know that. A forecast that is good at 9 o'clock may not necessarily be good at noon. We all know that. As we look at deer hunting for today, I've got to get going on this. I haven't been yet. Now is the time to be in the woods. Jeremy, you're on this. The best time to hunt today is from 5:20 this morning until 7:20. You'll have some more times today that'll be all right, but that's the best time today. What is the wind doing today? It's northeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour. So that's what we've got there. Don't forget to get your deer scored at Jay's Taxidermy, and the Battle of the Bucks will give away another free mount Monday morning. All you have to do is enter, and we're going to take all the names and pull out a winner for that. And then, of course, Jay's got all the prizes that he gives away each week. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Hunting is a great thing for a family to do. Hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I just got to get going. It's been a busy year for me. It'll get better, and we do appreciate that. We've got Candace getting ready to come in this morning to wind down our week. We'll keep you up to date with the very latest news that happens in and around our area and all the things that happen nationwide as well that affects us. There's a lot of things that goes on across our nation that may happen somewhere else 3 weeks away, and then eventually all that stuff just kind of trickles down to us. Remember the truck driver that had that crash that got 110 years and the governor reduced his sentence to 10 years? Now the judge is mad at the governor for doing that. Said he had no business meddling into what he had done. That was a harsh sentence. It was an accident. But they're arguing amongst each other now. That was in Colorado is where all that went down. Sad state regardless of how that happened there. But again, thank you for being a part of my morning show. We're coming up next month. We'll be doing this 2 years. Can you believe that? I think it's like February. I have to look at the date. Somewhere around February the 26th. Y'all have been some kind of supportive for me. Each day we grow a little bit bigger and bigger. We get more followers as we reach more people throughout East Mississippi and West Alabama and really across the country. We have people from not every state, but a lot of states watching us. Can't do it without you sharing the word. You can see us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all kinds of places, including television here in Meridian. It's happening all because of you. Thank y'all so much. Linda Culpepper says in Huntsville, Alabama, 21 degrees right now with a wind chill of 15. Yeah, that wouldn't even want to make me go to the door. I could stay holed up. And I can't, you watch those little shows like Little House on the Prairie. There was a time that we didn't have this electric heat, and all you had was that firewood and no insulation in the house. Can you imagine? And I know there's a few of you that grew up that way. Those old houses, y'all remember those? They just didn't have insulation, and they were cold. Those old potbelly stoves was in the middle of the house, and everybody would have to try to get as close to it as they could. Remember going to my granddaddy's, and it was always cold. But we've come a long way. Houses are built a lot better now, a lot more insulation. We stay warmer. But there was a time in America, y'all know that. I'll quit rambling. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll be back here in just a little bit. Thanks to all of our sponsors that do this with us every single day. Local folks, do business with them when you can. We'll see you back. Candace is on the way beginning at 8 this morning here at Scotty Ray's Weather. Thank y'all so much.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by